Heavy snow covered the streets of Boston on Christmas Eve, while glowing decorations filled the city with holiday cheer. Expensive stores displayed bright lights and giant Christmas trees, but inside a black luxury car, moving slowly through downtown traffic, billionaire Daniel Whitmore felt nothing at all. 3 years earlier, Daniel had lost his wife and 6-year-old son in a tragic car accident caused by a drunk driver. Since that night, his world had become cold and empty. He buried himself in business meetings, investments, and endless work to avoid the pain waiting for him at home. Christmas had become the hardest time of year because every light, every song, and every family gathering reminded him of everything he had lost forever. That evening, Daniel arrived at St. Anne's Children's Shelter, a place he donated money to every December without ever staying long enough to meet anyone. The shelter director welcomed him warmly, while children laughed nearby, decorating cookies and hanging handmade ornaments on a small Christmas tree. Daniel forced a polite smile as photographers snapped a few pictures for the local newspaper. Before leaving, usually, he would hand over the donation check and disappear within minutes. But tonight felt strangely different. As he stood near the tree, listening to Christmas music quietly playing in the background, he noticed a little girl staring directly at him from across the room. Unlike the other children, she did not seem excited by his expensive suit or security guards. The little girl slowly walked toward him, holding a broken paper snowflake she had made herself. Her name tag read Lily. She looked about 7 years old, with messy brown hair and an oversized red sweater that clearly belonged to someone much older. Daniel politely nodded at her, expecting a simple thank you, like he usually heard from children during charity visits. Instead, Lily looked into his tired eyes, carefully and softly said, "You look like someone who needs a family too." The words struck Daniel so suddenly that he could barely react. The room seemed to grow silent around him. Nobody had spoken to him with such honesty since his wife died 4 years. People treated him like a powerful businessman, never like a lonely human being. Daniel tried forcing a small smile to hide the emotion, suddenly rising inside his chest. "I think you're mistaken," he answered quietly. But Lily gently shook her head no. She whispered, "People here look sad before they find families. You look sad like that too." The shelter director immediately stepped forward, looking embarrassed. "Lily, sweetheart, you shouldn't say things like that," she said nervously. But Daniel stopped her with a raised hand. For some reason, the child's words hurt more than any painful memory he had spent years trying to ignore. Lily then reached into her pocket and pulled out a folded Christmas wish letter decorated with tiny stars. "Do you want to see what I asked Santa for?" she asked softly, without understanding why. Daniel followed her toward the glowing Christmas tree. Lily carefully handed Daniel the folded Christmas letter. While standing beside the glowing tree, inside the shelter, her small hands trembled slightly, as if she feared he might laugh at her wish. Daniel slowly opened the paper, expecting to read about toys, dolls, or candy, like most children asked for during Christmas. But the moment his eyes reached the center of the page, his entire expression changed. Written in uneven handwriting were the words, "All I want for Christmas is a family that stays." Daniel stared silently at the sentence for several long seconds. Then he noticed another line written underneath, in smaller letters, "I promise I'll be good enough this time." Something inside him shattered instantly. Daniel looked down at Lily, with confusion and sadness mixed together. "What do you mean by this?" he asked quietly. Lily lowered her eyes toward the floor and nervously twisted her fingers together. "3 families adopted me before," she whispered softly, "but they always brought me back." Daniel felt a painful heaviness rise inside his chest. The little girl spoke as if she truly believed those failed adoptions happened because she was not lovable enough. Before Daniel could respond, Lily forced a tiny smile and added, "Maybe Santa forgot about me too." Her innocent words broke something deep inside him. For years, Daniel thought, nobody understood loneliness more than he did. After losing his wife and son, but standing before him was a child who feared abandonment more than anything else in the world. That night, Daniel returned to his enormous mansion, overlooking the snowy Boston skyline, but for the first time in years, work could not distract him. Lily's words repeated endlessly inside his mind. He walked into the empty dining room, where a giant Christmas tree stood, untouched, in darkness. Memories of happier Christmas mornings with his family flooded back painfully. Usually he avoided those memories completely, But now something felt different. He realized that, while he had been mourning the family he lost, somewhere across the city, a little girl spent every Christmas praying for a family she never truly had. Daniel sat awake, almost the entire night, staring out the window while snow quietly covered the streets below. By morning, he had already made a decision. That would completely change his future forever. On Christmas Day, Daniel returned to St. Anne's shelter, carrying gifts, warm food, and several large boxes for the children. But none of that was the real reason he came back. The moment Lily saw him walking through the doors again, her eyes widened with surprise. "You came back," she whispered, as if she genuinely had not expected anyone to return. For her, Daniel slowly knelt beside her, emotion visible in his eyes for the first time in years. "I think maybe both of us needed someone," he admitted softly over the following weeks. Daniel visited Lily almost every single day. Slowly, laughter returned to his once silent life. Then on a snowy morning in January, Daniel officially adopted her. As they left the courthouse together, holding hands, Lily smiled up at him and quietly asked, "So you're my dad forever now?" Daniel's eyes filled with tears as he answered, "Forever."